talking like the feds. Said I'm stealing songs, must be off this meds. You been up too long, take your ass to bed. This old cranky nigga finna catch this lead. Man, I'm on the moon, I still got my throat. Shawty bought my baby, she won't leave me alone. Boy, I'm still around, like I never gone. Heard these niggas saying, call him Quincy Jones. And that's what you get for talking all that shit, Quincy. That's what you get, boy. I don't like cursing, but you done pissed me off this time. Talking about I'm stealing songs. I'm stealing songs? What? Those are my songs. My songs, and you know it. You know that shit. Talking about my complexion. Bitch, I'm beautiful. No matter if I'm black or white. I look better than you. Crusty nigga. And that's why your daughters wanted me. They wanted this D. And I could have gave it to them, but I was being nice. Too nice for you, Quincy. I'm too nice. Come on, man. You don't want this smoke. Took it there. You don't want it. Keep my name out of your mouth.
And welcome to the latest installment of the Extraordinary Negroes. It is your boy, Jay Connor.
And I'm Alex Hardy.
And what you been up to, black man?
Man, staying alive out here. Actually been making a lot of progress with this Get Some Joy project we're working on that I can't announce 100% just yet, but it's been good to just...
Talk your shit.
Man.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
There will be some big news coming soon. Yeah, my team and I, we've been working hard on pulling Get Some Joy. For those who don't know, I have a mental health initiative designed to help promote wellness and mental stability and such among Black and brown folks. And we're working on a big project that I really hope to be announcing hopefully this week or next week that will be, something substantial and that will live on forever and will be amazing and hope folks get their shit together mentally and emotionally. So I'm excited about it. The Extraordinary Negroes will be involved. Jay will be involved, and everybody will be pleased. So that's been the biggest thing, and trying to get my gear together for that. And I'm finally going home soon. Like, I haven't been home. I wrote about haven't been home since I didn't go home for Christmas last year. So finally going home, have those difficult conversations with the family, and just go take a break and get loved on, and soak up some Hampton, Virginia love and my grandma's food, and get my mind right. So that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to.
How long are you gonna be out there for?
My mother's been pressing. She doesn't like when I go for the weekend, so I'm gonna maybe go for like 3 or 4 days, just so that everybody wins and I can go ride around in Hampton and do nothing with everybody else that's there. So
No, I feel you, because like whenever I spent a few days in Atlanta earlier this year, as somebody who has spent a predominant amount of my life living away from my family, because my family has always lived in another state for me. So I've always only been the only person on the West Coast. My sister lives in Atlanta now. My mom lives in Atlanta with her now. So whenever I went to Atlanta to go visit them,
yes,
I forgot what it felt to be like loved on, because I spend so much damn time by myself without my family around. It was just like, whoa, this is what it feels to have people like love on you and how you been, and can I get you something, and I miss you, and let's talk and let's laugh. And like, so there's something very intrinsic to the Black experience about that. So I'm glad that you're getting able to go back home and experience that for a few days.
Do you feel, since you're the one that's away, kind of bad? Do you feel like you're missing out, birthdays? At least that's how I felt, birthdays, births, anniversaries, just even Sunday dinner. Do you feel like are you a person that kind of needs and misses that experience, or are you kind of thugging that on your own? You're okay with, you've adjusted to being apart from everybody else?
I've definitely adjusted to it, just because, like I said, it's been this way since I was 19. I mean, initially it was a bit of a culture shock because I was acclimated to, that type of environment growing up. But it's like, once I moved out, and I've been doing this so long by myself, that it's nice to kind of refresh and recharge, on an annual, 2-3 times a year basis. But I hadn't seen my family in like a hot minute. So it's just like, I'm very bad at, as you are well aware, I'm very bad at like taking kind of breaks and breathers. I'm so used to being like in grind mode, go mode, that like sometimes I forget that it's perfectly fine to be human and have human interaction and be loved on. Well, especially like with your family,
eating food and
So I'm glad you're doing that though. That's very important. Very important.
Yeah. Do they guilt you into coming back, into being back closer to everything else? Do you get that, like, bring your ass back to
They definitely want to see me more. And they know that with me being so busy, they're like, we could be better at coming to see you too, because I'm always the one that goes to see them. You know what I'm saying?
That is a great point.
And they like never come to the West Coast. I think the first time my sister, when I lived in Phoenix, my sister came out to Phoenix, I think twice out of the 8 years I lived there. And then they came out here once last year. So out of this entire time that I've lived on the West Coast, they've came out here a grand total of 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
So the onus always falls on me.
Well, at least you have somewhere to visit.
Yeah. So I mean, it's cool, but it's whatever. But as far as what I've been up to, I knocked out a few interviews. I think one of them is going to be coming out this week. I don't want to spoil it because I don't want to be that asshole like I was previously. I've been scheming on, since the success of our last live event, the Creative Mixer that I did with Creators of Color. Shout out to the homie Elton. I've already been scheming on my next event. Hopefully you'll be in town for that. So that too, chipping away at a bunch of writing. Yesterday, though, I felt a little bit of, I didn't get loved on, but I felt like I got a little bit of rejuvenation. I had a long weekend and I'm grateful for, my friends stepping up and kind of dragging me out the house. And yesterday I hit up Issa Rae's A Sip with Diddy. I don't know if you've heard of A Sip. I'm sure you have.
Yes.
So it was with Diddy and niggas, everybody's like, oh, yo, Diddy is the type of nigga that makes you want to like sell all your friends, your mama, your little sister and start a business. Like real shit. He make me want to cash all them niggas out and just be like, yo, I'm not living my life right. Because when you look at the level of success and the level of relevance he's maintained, I completely understand that in order to get that kind of money, you have to make a lot of enemies and piss off a lot of niggas along the way.
What I'm gonna do now? Huh? It's all fucked up now.
I don't want to make that much money, but if I can make enough money to be like, make sure my friends, make sure Alex, make sure my family, make sure folks is like super good, I'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But it's just like, Diddy the type of nigga that just makes you want to just like elevate your whole shit. Just be like, what have I been wasting my life the entire time? Because I mean, it's just, it's not even so much the gems that he drops. It's just his aura and just his mentality where you're just like, yo, he's operating on an entirely different level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how was the event itself? What happens during the event for those who don't know?
What happens during the event is Issa Rae invites somebody of a certain level of prestige to have like a one-on-one conversation with her. And she invites, she opens it up to the public. It's super hard to get into because like once it becomes, because it's kind of like a private thing. So it's like once people find out about it publicly, by then it's sold out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to know somebody who knows somebody to get in like ASAP. And thankfully, shout out to the homie Tanja, because Tanja's the plug. There's 2 people that are always the plug when it comes to shit. Me and Tanja. I connect people. Tanja hook your ass up when it's time to go somewhere. So like, when you get a text from Tanja, you already know what time it is. Hey, I need to get this RSVP. I need to buy this ticket ASAP because this is going to be some exclusive ass shit. So when she sent me, she hit me up, I was like, oh shit. I didn't, because they don't even announce it publicly whenever it's happening. You just find out after the fact online when you hear about it, like, oh damn, she just had a sip and didn't nobody tell nobody. So, but yeah, it's, a one-on-one conversation. Ciroc was heavy in there. It was, they call it an open bar, like you didn't pay to go, but whatever. So they got, the quote unquote open bar that you pay for. They have like the DJ, they got like, the photo booth, they got like, the food. It's just a really cool vibe. But I think the thing that I love the most about it is that the people there are really heavy into, being creatives and networking. You know what I mean? Because it's like when you go to a networking event, you never know the caliber of people that are going to be there. And it's like anybody that's at an Issa event is really trying to make shit pop. So that's the time when you really want to like move around the room and meet people and engage and all that other shit. And it was really dope because I was up there with like 7 or 8 of my friends. So it was cool to, run into people that I knew and everybody's out here getting it, exchanging phone numbers and whatever else. It was really cool, really dope. But coming off the viral success of our Extraordinary Negro of the Day social media campaign during Black History Month, we're honoring extraordinary women making history all March? Yeah, all March long during Women's History Month. So make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter so you can check that out. For people who aren't following us on those platforms, where can they find us, Mr. Hardy?
If you are not following us on social media, you can find us on, of course, theextraordinarynegroes.com. You can find us on Facebook at The Extraordinary Negroes and on Twitter and Instagram at The Extra Negroes.
Word. And so far, we've celebrated extraordinary women like screenwriter and producer Lena Waithe, legendary Latina journalist Maria Hinojosa. I really don't want to butcher that name. So Did I get that?
Good job. I was waiting for that.
Did I get that right?
You did.
Ooh.
Good job.
Man. Nigga was sweating. And Oakland's own Candace Elder, who's out here doing amazing work to combat homelessness. So definitely check us out on social media so you can get the entire Extraordinary Negroes experience, because if you're only listening to the podcast, you are missing out, I promise you. So let's get on to some of the reviews that we've received recently on the show. I'll let Alex kick it off.
Yes, indeed. Madam Heather says, I would follow you guys to the end of the earth. You guys are my Oprah. Aww.
I don't even know what that means, but I rock with it.
I don't even know either, but I'll take it. I appreciate it. I don't intend to take you to the end of the earth, but I appreciate the sentiment. Heather.
Word. I would much rather be your Oprah than be your, Tyler Perry,
Yeah. But no, like last month, like people to her, people was really like look forward to wake up and check social media looking for, like, especially the Extraordinary Negro of the Day thing. People were like, this is my morning news. This is how I start my day. This is the highlight of my week. Like, hell yeah. Heather, you're not alone. Thank you very much.
Word. Bluer Eyed Devil says, decent, but it would be better if they were white.
All right, first off, fuck black people.
Sorry to disappoint. We're black.
Sorry. You niggers can't change it. You got the wrong show if you're looking for the Extraordinary Wiggers. Wrong show. Sorry, blue-eyed devil. Can't help you there. MG says, I've struggled with severe anxiety and depression for most of my life. So I especially appreciate the emphasis you all place on mental health and therapy. I just want to thank you too for that. And to send encouragement to you all. So please keep doing what you're doing because it makes a huge difference. Thanks for all that you do. You the best.
Yeah, that's dope. I love to hear stuff like that when people reach out and they speak about how our show is, making that kind of impact on them, because that's what we sought out to do whenever we created this platform. So that's really beautiful and dope that we're able to inspire people and give people encouragement to that extent, especially with something so important.
Yeah, especially because, sharing that stuff is becoming more normalized, but it still can be a very scary and in itself an anxiety inducing, experience or thing to do. So definitely thank you for that encouragement. And we will continue to share our struggles and victories for y'all.
More so victories than struggles, but you get the point.
Yeah,
But yeah, we appreciate everyone who's taking the time out their busy ass lives to reach out to us. We know you got kids. We know you got selfies to take. We know you got court. We know you got all kinds of shit. You might have to skip This Is Us to hit us up. So we appreciate you taking the time out to do so. And yeah, if you love what you're hearing, just please drop us that 5-star review on Apple Podcasts so we can shout you out on the show and return the love. We always appreciate it. Thank you. Shall we get to these hot takes, Mr. Hardy?
Let's go.
All right. Now, last week, popular DC morning show, The Fam in the Morning, turned into a shit show when co-hosts Quicksilver and DJ5, these niggas sound like rappers, DJ59 ambushed their fellow co-host Danny Starr with some bullshit on air.
I'm not even going to address her because this isn't about her. This is about you and this is about you.
You're trying to make it about us.
You're going to be quiet and you're going to listen. On International Women's Day, I'm going to ask you to be quiet. This is what's going to happen. You do not ambush your co-host. Mm-hmm. You do not do that because one thing, I am not insecure, okay? I have been cheated on. I have been very open and vocal about my stuff. But I get to decide what happens in my household, okay? My daddy slept with a babysitter, so I know my situation. You're beautiful and that's great. You can be your motto, singing ass, do all that stuff. But you are not. I get to pick who is around my children and who is around my man. And no, you will not be.
Right, and that's understandable, but the comments that you made
the comments that I made
was
were
disrespectful.
No, they weren't. I said you're beautiful and you appear to be smart. That is complimenting you. I said, but I don't want you in my household. I get to decide what happens in my household.
So why don't you want me there is the real question.
I don't have to answer to you.
You big man.
I definitely don't have to answer now because you're ambushing me live on the radio show. You better stop waving your hand like that because all of y'all this is a setup and y'all ain't nothing. You lucky I can't swear on the radio. You lucky I can't swear on the radio because y'all ain't nothing and on my life this will be my last day of work with you ambushing that negative ass.
Now, hold on. So now, let me get this right. Let me get this right. I allowed you to talk. I've been quiet for now 5 minutes.
You allowed me to be set up. Yeah, you allowed me to be set up, Quicksilver.
So now, with that being said, this young lady Because now you're making this about Quicksilver 5. And you're making this about
This ain't about her.
This is about us.
This is. I allowed you to talk, Danny.
You allowed me to talk. Thank you for allowing me to talk.
Now you're. It's not about a sexist.
Thank you, Quicksilver.
Okay, now she's trying to be sarcastic.
No, because now I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
Because in conversations, you converse by going back and forth. If Danny only talks, it's no longer a conversation. It's now.
In a previous episode, Danny expressed her desire to find a nanny, but openly admitted she wasn't interested in hiring anyone who was attractive. So what did her tacky-ass co-host do? They surprised Danny by inviting the attractive woman in question who applied and was denied for the position on air to confront Danny on, of all days, International Women's Day. Which, of course, led to outrage, bedlam, colorful language, and Danny's insistence that she was quitting the show because fuck y'all niggas, effective immediately. However, cooler heads prevailed and Danny remained with the radio station. However, her whack-ass co-hosts were suspended indefinitely, and the radio station dedicated the following day to uplifting women by having a complete takeover of women hosts and DJs for the duration of the entire day. So, Mr. Hardy, on a scale of 1 to what the fuck was y'all thinking, how tacky was the stunt her co-host pulled?
I would say this is about a 13 up there with Producing Black Children with Rachel Dolezal.
Wow.
I think that it was bad, all bad. It was wrong from the start. First of all, on additional, I was surprised to learn that this is not DJ Quick or Voice to 5'9". These are two totally different people. First of all. Secondly, yeah, it just wasn't good. Like, you know, I listened to it and I also heard, I think DJ Quick's wife called in to lay his ass out. Like, she has a right as a woman, or any of us do, to, you know, to decide who does and doesn't come into our house for whatever reason, whether you don't want a left-handed person in your house, or you don't want a blonde person in your house, or a person with whatever the reason is. She has a right as the employer and the mother of these kids to say, I don't want these motherfuckers in my house. And that's the end of that discussion. But for her co-host, her quote unquote brothers, to set her up and bring this woman into the studio with limited warning to confront her, and didn't check her or cut her mic when she was going in on her, talking about her insecurity and how she was representing for the, what'd she say? Representing for the pretty women out here. Like, she's Sojourner Truth, Rosa Parks out here. Like, nah, it was all bad. It was ill-conceived, ill-advised. It shouldn't have happened. She was right for quitting. And I definitely hope that Danny finds somebody else in a situation that's not going to gaslight her in that kind of situation and have her out here looking crazy, or try to have her out here looking crazy and irrational on the radio on her job. Like, it was all wrong.
The thing that was most upsetting to me about this entire situation, because I heard the full clip, I think on like the Shade Room, somebody sent it to us. Like, y'all check y'all tag us in the most bizarre shit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We get all kinds of shit. Anyway, somebody tagged us in this and I saw it, and doing her like that, like, this is your coworker. This is supposed to be somebody whose back you're supposed to have, especially in the entertainment medium. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all supposed to be a unified front. If Alex and I have issues, we supposed to keep that shit in the background and make sure that we give you guys the best show possible. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like foul that they operated in that manner and just completely threw her in the bus, or threw her under the bus like that, man. Just super fucked up.
Yeah, that, like, if I just can't imagine, like, if we were on here and you just popped up on here, you know, somebody who caused some beef between us or me and my personal life, and you put me on the spot to have this issue out on live radio. Like, I just can't see how that is anything that you would do to someone who you purport to care about, or that who's, you know, a relationship that you say you value, or a person who is important to you. That's some shit you do. Well, shouldn't do it anyway, but that's some shit that you would definitely not do to someone who you would consider your sister, who is like a friend of your wife and shit like that. Like, that was completely asinine. Completely asinine. I wish a lifetime of bed bugs and bad sex for both of those niggas.
Yeah, them niggas is trash. Also last week, 8-time gold medal Hotepian.
It's Hotepian.
Tariq Nasheed debuted his new song, It's Time.
Woo.
Which, much to our dismay, wasn't the Dr. Umar Johnson diss track we've all been anxiously anticipating.
To know your name.
Part Morris Day and the Time, part unintentionally hilarious, but all dumpster heap. You can find his new single in gas station toilet bowls everywhere. So, Mr. Hardy, if you could describe Tariq's new quote-unquote single with one word, what word would you use?
It's more of a phrase. I would say roadside chainsaw abortion. That's what comes to mind. It's all bad. I don't know if there were drugs or if there were females harmed in the making of this travesty, but we all fall down. It's about getting up from our stumbles. It was probably the most ill-advised thing that I've watched in a long time, especially for someone with, I know he has like a pimp past, and there was I don't know if there was like a reinvention at some point, when he transitioned from being a coach on Made, helping niggas get women, to, being a spewer of, I don't know, black trash. But I'm not in appreciation of this musical endeavor. At the very least, though, like, it gave me a good laugh. Like, I was having a crappy morning, and I had a good laugh. Seeing him bop his
stepping and ho-tapping.
Yo, DJ Blackshaw, he killed me with that. Like, stepping and ho-tapping. Like, I was on the train in tears with his raccoon fur situation around his neck. I don't know what dastardly female put him up to this, or if he has been able to acquire, double his flock of loyal females as a result of this effort. But I wish him the best. I wish it didn't have to happen to me or us or the world, but here we are.
Jesus. Yo, this might be the greatest Cat Call Carol of all time. Real shit. I was just astonished and amazed by what I saw on the screen. It made me want to just jump up, pound my chest, and call a black woman a Negro bedwench. I just felt like I could feel the hyper masculinity just flowing through my veins as soon as the shit came. As soon as the shit came on.
Just had the urge to just start calling people bitches and hoes.
I was like, oh, fuck all you bitches. As soon as that shit came on, man, it was just like I hulked up or some shit. My skin turned green. Like, it's just one of them songs. Like, the shit is so bad, man. It's one of them songs that's so bad it's good. It's one of those songs that you stomp one leg to and you don't move shit else. Like, you see the old nigga that just be trying to dance. Like, he can't dance, but he just be moving that leg. Like, this is that song.
It definitely took me a while to decide whether it was serious or not. Like, is this part of like a sketch? Is this like a Jimmy Kimmel sketch happening? Or like, is he filming a reality show that we don't know about? But it seems 100% real. I saw he posted the link himself on Twitter a couple of days ago. So it's something he is standing behind with a straight face. And, that's what's happening.
You know what, though? The next time you decide you want to wear a synthetic wig around your neck for the duration of an entire music video, I need you to holler at the Royal Stitch by Mel and get you a good wig.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get you a good quality, high quality $800,000 wig to wear around your neck, because you was looking crazy, my nigga.
Not with the scraped up possum roadkill. That's not the look.
Yeah, you out here wearing Barbie doll hair. You supposed to be that nigga, man. I was greatly disappointed, but I really need that Dr. Umar diss track. Like, do you think he would rap it, or would he sing it, or like how would that work?
You think you cute with your sweet ass.
Shit, at this point, he'd probably sing it.
Lips all extra shiny and shit.
I see him singing it. I mean, this shows just the level of nerve. Like, if the nigga got nothing else, the nigga got nerve to do this publicly and not as a joke. I could totally see a Umar diss track dropping on SoundCloud one Saturday morning at like 2 a.m.
But I got to address this fat fuck nigga, Dr. Umoist Johnson. He's making threats about what he's gonna do physically if people got his name in his... Umar fucking Johnson. Umar bitch-made Johnson. Your name is in my mouth, nigga. I'm saying your bitch-ass name. Your name is in my fucking mouth.
I would be mad as fuck if I was like one of his patrons and I saw this music video. Like, nigga, I'm giving you $5 a month for this bullshit. Like, fuck out of here, man. That shit was so bad, man.
Cat ass hair scarves don't buy themselves.
For our last hot take, following her appearances at the Oscars and Essence's star-studded Black Women in Hollywood event, everybody's homegirl Tiffany Haddish has your respectable cousins all worked up and judgment raining from the sky. All week, the internets have been abuzz with decorum suggestions for the breakout star of last year's Girls Trip, who some think is embarrassing herself and or our people as a whole by nay-naying on stage, hiking up her dress to step over a rope to greet Meryl Streep, or mispronouncing the names of nominees, and just basically being her whole black ass self. So we got to ask, Mr. Hardy, how do you feel about this asinine controversy surrounding this grown woman's behavior in public?
I think it's ridiculous. It is proof that all skin folk are not kinfolk. And just the notion that this person's behavior can affect you or can affect your self-worth. This person who has, as she said, people think you're overnight success when, you pop up in a movie or you pop up at these events or on stages. She's been working for, I feel like she said like 20 plus years, like since the age of like Def Comedy Jam and shit to be put on. So if I'm working for 2 decades and I'm in public and I'm just now getting my shine, I've been spending more than half my life grinding for it. You damn right she has the right to get on stage. And if she want to nay, if she want to braid her fucking hair on stage and do backflips and tell stories from her childhood that her mom used to tell braiding her, like I feel like she has the right to do that. We don't say anything. You got men out here, Kanye running up on stage, people showing up to award shows, drinking Cavassier, Jennifer Lawrence doing whatever the fuck she wants to do everywhere she goes, and nobody said anything about her decorum or how she's embarrassing white folks as a whole. So I just want all these people to suck a dick, not even a dick, but a bouquet of dicks, critiquing this one woman who's living her best life. She has every right to be her whole black ass self. It's disappointing that like we as people are still expecting our folks to like tuck in aspects of our blackness and be like acceptably black or like palatably black in these spaces. It's corny and it's a symptom of self-hate. So I don't have time for it.
For me, Tiffany Haddish is success goals because I keep trying to tell you niggas and you think I'm playing. I can't wait to sell out. Don't let a nigga like me get money. I'm sure Alex will be way more reserved and be more respectable. I'm about to act a straight fucking fool. Let me make a quick million, man. Y'all niggas be embarrassed to be around me in public. But yeah, it's definitely a symptom of self-hatred. I've heard people say that like she is the human embodiment of the exact stereotypes that we go so far out of our way to avert and avoid, as far as like, how we are presented in the public. But at the same time, people conveniently omit the fact that black people are not monolithic. All of us are not Gabrielle Union or Oprah or Ava DuVernay and carry themselves in a certain manner. Some of us are loud. Some of us are obnoxious. Some of us are colorful. Some of us are, ostentatious. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, we need to celebrate all of us, just like we all, look different and come in different colors and tones. We all come in different personalities. And if anything, I take great joy in seeing Tiffany continue to be herself. If she would have achieved this level of success and started being all super proper and prim, then it would have been whack. I would have been like, that's not Tiffany. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not authentic. And I think we need to celebrate her authenticity. Just like we celebrate Cardi B's, we need to celebrate Tiffany's. You know what I'm saying? They're not embarrassing us because there's plenty of other great examples of black people that make you feel more comfortable with your blackness. You know what I mean? Like, we just need to embrace everybody and just be happy and, let her rack up her wins. She out here doing her shit. You know what I'm saying?
Especially given the life, and she's been open about, the life she's led, going through the foster care system, having a shitty childhood and upbringing. And I just feel like, why would we not celebrate someone who was out here shining, getting money, being loved on, and achieving their dreams out here in this like age when we're always told, we're not good enough, twice as good, all this other bullshit. And she is achieving all this success, being her whole ass self. Like, why would you not?
Whole ass self.
Like, that is the dream. Like, for you to get, as much as we complain about microaggressions and code switching and having to tuck in our blackness in corporate settings and, among coworkers and social setting, this is someone who is getting to do just that, getting to arrive to work and get paid for being her regular, like for not changing herself in any kind of way. And this is the dream. That's what you want in your job. You go to your job, you want to be your whole black ass self and not have people be threatened by your blackness and telling, and using all these coded language to tell you to calm it the fuck down. So I think we should be supporting and uplifting her rather than critiquing her, which is self-hating ass.
Yeah, as content creators, like, that is one of the greatest things. That's one of the greatest gifts that you have, is the fact that you can potentially be in a position to be yourself. Look at our show. You know what I'm saying? Where else are Alex and I going to be able to conduct ourselves in this manner and be rewarded for it? You know what I'm saying? Any other platform, any other avenue that we use, somebody's going to try to inject and infuse their voice and their opinion and their perception on what it is that we're creating. So the fact that she's able to be her authentic self and, rack up the wins, I'm here for it, man. Shout out to Tiffany.
Yeah. Shout out to her. We definitely need more Tiffany's in the world.
Yes. And in our quest to become our own Tiffany, that's part of the reason why we have Patreon. And that, well, actually, you know what? I'll let you tell our audience the importance of Patreon to us.
Yes. So Patreon basically is a way for you, our lovely listeners and homies and readers and everything else, to help us be great out here in the age of presidential diaper genies. It's a way for you to support us as we record this podcast, putting this podcast out, keep the lights on, keep the site up, and us to be able to continue producing content. If Patreon is not for you, thankfully, we also have PayPal as an option as well. You can hit us up at paypal.com/the Extraordinary Negroes, and you can help us be great.
And I had somebody hit me up last time and ask us what our Patreon was because we didn't explicitly state it. It's patreon.com/the Extraordinary Negroes. So definitely check that out. We appreciate any donations you make into our collection plate. Keeps the lights on, keeps our skin exfoliated, keeps our elbows nice and moisturized. You know what I'm saying? And as a bonus, we make a dope ass show that people, you know, a few tens of thousands of people love. So definitely check it out. Also, I want to take a moment to thank Joe Hall, our latest patron, for joining the congregation. And if you aren't already, make sure you're checking out our after party episodes and hitting up our website, theextraordinarynegroes.com, for more shit. And as far as our past episode, what did you hear about it?
Man, I got a lot of great feedback about the last episode. One friend, she is a therapist as well. Just, you know, I think expressing a similar sentiment that a lot of people did, in that it's just good to hear Black folks talking openly about what we're dealing with mentally and emotionally, especially in an age when we are pressed and pushed to, you know, live in this strong Black man and strong Black woman role. So we had Shamira Ibrahim and Tanja Renee Stidham here talking about, just our mental health and going to therapy and healing and how we're keeping it the fuck together out here. And basically this friend was pleased to hear two writers whose work she loves. She's also a fan of Tanja and all of her 1.5 million jobs that she has out here. It just humanized us in a way. That was the word she used. Humanized them in a way that was really special for her, especially when I feel like she listened to the episode. I think she said it popped up on her feed as she was leaving therapy one day. And it was just right on time for her. And yeah, just like I said, just glad to see us being human and being vulnerable and not wearing our this Wakandan armor all the fucking time and trying to be superheroes every day. So just good to see us be regular ass niggas.
The funniest thing I heard is somebody said, how come every time Shamira's on the show, Jay's not on it? That's the funniest thing I heard. And I was like, I never thought about that, because I think she's been on twice?
Clearly they're beefing.
Yeah, we got beef. Yeah. We got beef. But no, I thought it was funny as shit, because I was like, I never thought about that. But I was out of town. I was out of town for whenever they recorded this. So I'm glad that it was as amazing as it was. And honestly, sometimes, you know, as a content creator, you have to understand that, like, sometimes your input is not needed. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, in listening to the show like everybody else, what the fuck would I add to it? You know what I mean? Like, they were cooking, they created, you know, they had an amazing conversation. And other than, you know, throwing my 2 cents in and having an opinion and maybe getting off a few jokes, there really wasn't anything I had to add to that conversation. So I'm glad that the episode was amazing as it was. I'm glad that it resonated with as many people as it did. And maybe one day Shamira and I can, you know, record together. I don't know. We'll see if we squash. We'll see if we squash the beef by then. But yeah, you know, I was just really amazed by, you know, we got emails about this episode. I mean, you know, social media is cool, but when somebody takes the time out to email you and be like, yo, this really moved me, like that's super dope. So we got emails about this episode. You know, I got a few text messages about it. You know, it really spoke to people. And I think the beauty of it is that in our, you know, writer symposium series, you know, we obviously talk to writers about, like, you know, their experiences as writers, but this wasn't an official entry into that series, but it was cool to have 3 writers talk about, like, the flip side of their day-to-day lives as a byproduct of kind of the work that they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was interesting to hear that. And like I said, a hell of a lot of people listened to it. Thank each and every one of y'all. Probably one of our biggest debuts outside of the Black Panther in a while. So yeah, it did really well. So thank each of you for listening. And yeah, it was nice to hear, you know, get so much love for it. But on the heels of that, who we got on this episode?
On today's episode, we have 2 special guests. I don't know if you all are very familiar with them. They're a brother from Los Angeles and a brother who's in New York by the names of Alex and Jay.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh nigga, what?
Man. 2 special niggas, and that's all you're gonna get for today is us. We are the special guests. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we spend so much time with other guests. We thought that we were gonna, take a week off and just chill and just let us vibe, because the last time we did this, people really loved it. So we just decided we're gonna give it another shot. So it's us. Surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise. But let's get into these shrimp and grits questions, sir.
Let's go.
It's the questions. It's the questions, boy. It's the questions. It's the questions. Come on. The questions. It's the questions, boy. It's the questions. It's the questions. Yeah. The questions.
Sean asks, you guys have experienced an extraordinary amount of success in a very short time. Thank you, Sean. What advice do you have for podcasters like myself following in your footsteps? Ooh. Well, Sean, I have 2 things. I get this a lot. I get this a hell of a lot. I get it so much. Yeah, I get it a lot. So these are the 2 things I would say that, as far as advice goes, for people who are just starting. 1, focus on making dope shit. It's really that simple. Focus on making dope ass content. I promise to God, if you make something good, it will resonate with people, and they will do the work to help you get it out there. Obviously, you got to put in work. Obviously, you got to promote. You got to market. You got to, everything else that comes with a show. But the most important thing you can do is make dope shit. So make dope shit first and foremost. And the second most important thing I would say to people that are just starting out is make sure you stand out from the rest of the crowd.
Oh, my God.
What are you doing that differentiates you from every other fucking podcast out there? There's 1,000,001 bootleg ass versions of The Read. We don't need any more, I promise. Shout out to Kid Fairy and Crystal. They do what they do very well, but you're not them, so stop trying to be them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how many shows out there that are like, oh, I got a friend and we like to crack jokes and talk shit, so we're just gonna crack jokes and talk shit. But everybody's doing it the exact same way. You're not gonna stand out, and it's gonna make you very difficult to to get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Do something to stand out. With us, one of the biggest things that work out for us is how we present the content. We're very creative. We're very unique. Nobody is presenting their shows and their brand in the manner that which we are. You know what I'm saying? So find something that makes you stand out, and just really make sure that you do that, because I can't do no more fake ass versions of The Read. I can't.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing, when people ask about not even longevity, but just like getting on and growing your audience. The biggest advice really is making yourself different. I mean, they're really finding what it is that makes yourself special. That is probably the biggest thing you can really do. Like Jay said, there are 7 million podcasts out here. Like, and especially, getting to niche Black markets, and, we're talking about some of the same stuff, culture, sexuality, whatever the case may be. Definitely have to spend as much time thinking about what it is that makes you special. But I think the easiest way, or one of the easier ways, is to like pour your passions into the podcast that you're doing. I mean, your podcast is your platform, your ability to do whatever your goals are, to do whatever you're trying to do in this media landscape. But it's like your one space, or one of your spaces, to be your whole entire self, to bring your whole personality, all the quirks and all the special things that make you stand out, bring that and pour that into your podcast, whatever your product is. And I just think like that will give it that specialness, or that will, bring something to it that the next podcast can't have. So all your personality, all of your quirks and interests, like pour that shit into there. And it also helps to have a subject matter and, a working environment that, not to say it doesn't sound like work, but something that you can do regularly and it doesn't drain you spiritually, like to get on the mic and say what you need to say and do what you need to do work that is important to you. And also you got to get good at networking and building relationships with other people, because, your circle of friends is one thing. And if your goal is to make a podcast for your friends to hear, that's great. But if you want to make something that goes beyond that, you definitely have to look beyond your personal network. And if you're trying to grow, for example, you will need to be more strategic in booking your guests and approaching your subject matter and, coordinating with holidays and other things going on in the world. You just have to think a little bit bigger than you and other ways that you can ingratiate new people into what you're doing and entice new people to give a fuck about what you have going on. So you just got to think a little bit bigger, kind of may need to zoom out and think of some things that you can do to make your shit special and stand out.
No more fake ass versions of the read. Please, Lord, please.
Seriously. Sarah asks, I'm Facebook friends with each of you, and you guys always have been big advocates of self-care and maintaining your mental and physical health. But with the Extraordinary Negroes being such a major undertaking, has producing your podcast been detrimental to your own mental or physical health at all?
Shit.
I'll let you go first on that one.
Yeah, hell yeah, it has. Definitely has. Honestly, if I would have known it was going to be this much of a undertaking, I probably would have seriously considered going about things differently from the onset, as far as having a better understanding of everything and allocating accordingly. But yeah, it's this shit is work, man. Shit is a lot of work. Definitely took a toll on me, primarily more so physically than mentally, over the duration of the show. I think I've talked about it in spots on the show, but yeah, I lost like a bunch of weight last year, just stress, and I lost almost like 20 damn pounds. And I don't have, if you've seen a nigga, I don't have 20 pounds to lose. So
you really did.
So, I lost like almost 20 pounds, and I had my friends basically like stage an intervention and run up on me and be like, yo, we appreciate what you're doing, but at the same time, you have to instill more of a balance and take care of yourself throughout the process. You can't just focus on, creating content. So I'm definitely in a better place now, but it's definitely taken a mental toll as well too. Cause it's just, I think the biggest burden of this platform, the biggest burden of a platform of this magnitude is the expectations that come along with it. And I think that that's something that Alex and I weren't necessarily prepared for going into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, we're just two dope niggas that want to make dope shit, but we didn't realize, on some Spider-Man shit, with great power comes great responsibility. People hold you to a certain level that when they see you out here doing certain things, not only does it create other opportunities, because obviously Alex and I have been able to have opportunities that we never had before as a byproduct of the show, but on top of that, people expect certain things from you. Your community expects you to, kind of be like tastemakers and to have certain opinions on certain things and a lot of other things that come with it. And, it can be daunting and stressful as shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that that's been the biggest toll on us. But also, like, on some partly selfish shit, I never had anybody teach me how to do anything to do with podcasting. So that was a strenuous process in learning how to do this, because it's just like, us being writers, and I think you and I talked about this the other day, but like, us being writers, there's always somebody who's more accomplished than we are, so we can say, hey, how do I go about this? How do I do this? But with podcasting, like, I didn't have anybody that we could look at and say, hey, can you teach us this? Can you show us this? Can you kind of navigate? Like, this is all shit we had to learn ourselves. You know what I'm saying? On a whim. And it's shit that we're still learning as far as navigating through certain things. And part of the problem with that is that, like, in not having those people to kind of teach you, we kind of, in the process of helping our friends and helping other people that, our peers and stuff like that, like, there's an expectation for that. You know what I mean? Like, when people hear about the Extraordinary Negroes or whatever else, like, they expect us to be at a certain level at all times. And it's like, if we don't meet or exceed that, we failed. Or you know what I mean? So I think that definitely takes a toll mentally. Because I know people are constantly, I can't speak for Alex, but I know people are constantly hitting me up for like advice or insight or like, hey, how do I do this? And it's just like, it's cool to be in a position to help other people, but at the same time, like, that's a major expectation. If I tell somebody I don't know, I kind of feel like I failed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, that entering the space without, like, there's no blueprint. You have, of course, people whose work you admire and whose efforts you would love to, not replicate, but whose work has pushed you, to want to do similarly great things. But, not having a roadmap, like, this is a very much uncharted territory for a lot of people. And especially since a lot of creatives, in these places, like, as you mentioned, regarding like the event you did with Creatives of Color, like, a lot of us creatives work in a silo, and a lot of us are doing dope things and, creating podcasts and platforms and doing things in the media, but we're doing them alone. And so, advice and things that we may know or that maybe would help the next person you're not always in the environment, where you're giving and sharing and exchanging that information openly. So a lot of it is you got to figure the fuck out as you go. There's a lot of trial and error, figuring out what works, what the audience will like. I mean, so there is that pressure, that expectation, and also the name Extraordinary Negroes. We can't be corny. Like we can't, be out here putting out lackluster bullshit. I mean, that's just doing ourselves a disservice. And yeah, just having to live up to that. Keep the audience engaged, keep people on board. It's not just us. There's thousands, tens and thousands of listeners and followers and likes and readers and all that stuff that are expecting, content both written, on the website, digitally, on social media, on the podcast. They're expecting interesting guests. They're expecting interesting subject matters. And so it is a lot. That part is a lot. And then just, trying to balance that with being a human being just in general, who is just dealing with life as it comes and work responsibilities and family things and social obligations. And there's a lot. So yeah, definitely balancing that has been a struggle. Being a public person, both dealing with mental and emotional challenges in the public eye, that in itself is a challenge that I regret or wish we didn't do anything. But yeah, that stuff is challenging. Going through these things, doing this publicly in the public space, it can be a challenge. But the encouragement from listeners and readers and homies, like that kind of stuff does make it much more bearable. And yeah, it just requires both of us individually to, operate at a certain level. And that can definitely have its challenges and be a bitch to keep going consistently. So yes, Sarah, to answer your question.
Yeah. So it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Heavy as the crown. Zach asks, what do you miss most about your childhood?
I miss having someone cook for me all the time. I miss
it's the little things, dog.
I miss and honestly now being apart from my family, all my family's back in Virginia. We ate dinner together like most nights, and I actually miss that. My dad, my mom, and my sister and I sitting at the table, either debriefing homework or talking about the day or whatever the case may be, like whether there was some other kid in the neighborhood at the table, or my grandma was there, or like we had my mother was one of those like not adopting, but caring for a lot of other people's children, taking in neighborhood kids, helping friends of friends raise their kids. So there was always a lot of kids and people in the house, and we ate together most nights. And that's one of the things that I miss the most about growing up, is just having that time to, just chill and nothing else matters. And, we're going through all that stuff together, regardless of whatever happened before that in the day. So that's probably one of the things I miss most. And less responsibility and bills and shit.
I think the one thing I miss the most is going outside. It sounds ridiculous, but it's just like you spent so much time outside as a kid, and it's like now, like I'll hike or I'll do certain things outside, but it's just very brief. For the most part, I feel like a majority of my life is indoors, and I miss just spending like hours upon hours upon hours just fucking like playing around in the mud and riding bikes and just being a damn kid and just enjoying life and exploring. I don't really feel like a lot of us really take the time to explore anymore. And, just being outside and just having like new experiences. It almost felt like a video game, like achievement unlocked. You found the pond in the backyard. You know what I mean? Like it was just,
yeah.
I just really miss just like that sense of everything being new and just going outside and just having fun, just shooting hoops for 8 hours in 95-degree heat when you had all the stamina in the world.
That's true. I mean, just that opportunity to be that lighthearted. We were outside kids. I mean, we were like playing kickball with like the whole neighborhood and playing hide and go seek, breaking up into teams, using the whole neighborhood. I was getting poison ivy every summer, playing kickball in backyards, creating swings across ditches, slingshots and shooting gumballs and pine cones and just all of that outdoor shit that I don't see, that I definitely can't recall. Even like a water balloon fight, a water gun fight, just simple shit like that.
Yeah, like just being outside, once you're an adult, and all your disposable time is gone. I miss having free time too, man. Jesus, nigga had all the time in the world just to not do shit. Now I feel like I have to wake up extra early and stay up extra late just so I can live a little bit. So yeah, it's just a lot. But thank each of you for sending in your questions. If you have any questions, colorful questions you would like for us to answer on the show, you can shoot them over to theextraordinarynegroes@gmail.com. You can hit us up on social media. You can tweet us. You can run us down. If you see us in the streets, you can shoot us a text, just any way you get a hold of us. Or you can even go on our website and send them that way too, theextraordinarynegroes.com. So yeah, definitely all the above.
Yes. So, so it looks like we've arrived to the point of our show where we get some shine to some folks who...
Wait. We don't get to interview ourselves, though.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's it, nigga. Yeah, so with the name Extraordinary Negroes, of course, we've arrived to the point, like I said, where we give some shine to people who have done something amazing or not and need a little bit of extra attention this week. So since we are the special guests, and I know instead of you nominating me as your Extraordinary Negro of the Week, which I know you were going to do, who would you like to have as your first Extraordinary Negro of the Week?
My Extraordinary Negro of the Week is somebody who is near and dear to my heart, somebody I've known for 30 plus years, who has been there through my lowest of low times and has been able to witness my highest of high times, who is my biggest cheerleader. We've had several ups and downs throughout the course of our lives, but she's somebody who has always loved me unconditionally, regardless of how much of an ain't shit nigga I've been. So I want to christen my mother as my Extraordinary Negro of the Week. We learned this weekend that she's been diagnosed with cancer. So we are rallying together as a family to help her confront and defeat this disease. Fuck cancer, # combat cancer and all that other shit. So I definitely want to send some love to my mom. And we got this. So
yes.
Thankfully it was discovered. It was discovered extremely early, and she has a very high, like 95% chance of survival. So we're going to be addressing this within the coming week. So shout out to my mom. Love her dearly. Thank you for everything you've done to mold me into the extraordinary, handsome black motherfucker I am today. And that's it.
Nice. Good. Shout out to Jay's mom. So, I mean, yeah, I know we talked about this earlier, this person. I was going to, before we talked about her today, she was a person I wanted to give some shine to, but I really, 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 I love Tiffany Haddish. I know we mentioned her earlier in our hot takes, but I just think that it's amazing to just see someone who has been through so much and has been so transparent about what they've been through. To be shining and to like be on these stages and living their dreams. You just think about how, as a comedian, I'm sure that road is arduous and that it definitely seems like an uphill battle. And I'm sure, there are plenty of times she wants to give up. I mean, she's been open to talk about sleeping in her car and I mean, just all these types of things. And I just love seeing these people win. People who look like me and, she's loud and she sticks her tongue out and she does a nay on the fucking red carpet. And she, she's wearing the same dress at multiple events like she said she was going to do because she paid $500 for that shit. So and regardless of how your churchy, respectable cousins got their ascots all in a bunch, I love it so much.
Word.
Make everybody uncomfortable, live your life, dance on stage, do all the shit you need to do that make you happy. We need more Tiffany's in this world. And I so love seeing her rise and, seeing what's next for her. And whether, you agree with her, don't find her funny, or, you don't agree with her comedy, or you think fuck all that. She's living her best life. She's a black girl out here winning, making her family proud and making people upset and inspiring a lot of people in the process. She's getting paid and she is opening the doors for lots of young black women and comedians behind her to go forward and do great things. So shout out to you, Tiffany Haddish, for doing your motherfucking thing, regardless of what people say and how it makes people feel. If it makes people uncomfortable or whatever the case may be, she's living her life like it's golden, and I support her.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that take issue with the way that she conducts herself are in a position in which they feel suppressed in their professional environment. Just my 2 cents.
Oof, yes, that's real. And it's like, how dare she? I don't get to do that. I don't get to stick my tongue out at work. I don't get to smile at work or be joyful at work. Fuck her.
Yeah.
Don't be mad. Just get happy. Quit your job and find your joy too, bitch.
That part. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. Stop being a hater, bitch. Let her live her life. So yeah, thank you to our 2 wonderful, beautiful, brilliant, intelligent, and talented guests, Alex and Jay.
Word. Clap it up for them niggas, yo.
Couldn't
clap it up.
Better guests, I'd say. How about you? I think that was a pretty good guest collection. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, or whatever platform puts a little rooter in your tutor. If you like what you're hearing, drop us a review or else you're a racist. Be sure to tell a friend of 50 and drink that water and love on yourself.
Yes, and dream those dreams and man up, woman up, and live those dreams, because a life without dreams is black and white, and the universe flows in technicolor and surround sound. Blow.
Peace out.
Peace out, y'all.